Shorting ETH with 50x leverage, floating profits over 62.4 million, going long before a pump, raking in 6.83 million in just 24 hours. Whales going wild with 50x leverage, sitting on 78.19 million in unrealized gains. While you're still debating whether to open 3x or 5x leverage, the insider crew is already using this platform to bring home money like it's running water. And this platform is today's star, Hyperliquid. Why are these big players picking Hyperliquid over other trading platforms? What's so special about it? What is the glitch that got whales ditching centralized exchanges and turning this place into their personal gold mines? That's some good questions. The answers are coming at the end of this video, but don't skip to the end yet. Let me first break down this exciting new DEX that's turning heads. I've done my homework, and trust me, they are cooking up some pretty cool stuff. Let's discuss about that. It's the morning here in New Zealand. I just woke up, so I need coffee. So, fun fact. Back in January, I shorted Trump, the token Trump, on Hyperliquid, and I made some good profits, around 6 figures. Just say the whales and I are onto something. Curious why? Keep watching. Oh, and quick heads up. I'm thinking about starting a community soon. You can join me on Telegram, link in the description. That's my personal Telegram for the moment. I'll drop any updates there first, and I will drop some merch too. As you can see, we got some merch now, and I'll tell you more about it in a next episode. Let's get back to the good stuff. First up, Hyperliquid's trading speed is unreal, like lightning fast. This isn't luck. Unlike the old school DEX that rely on public blockchains to match orders, Hyperliquid built its own layer 1 blockchain from the ground up, designed specifically for speed for perpetual contracts and spot trading. Every order, cancellation, match and liquidation happens on-chain, fully transparent. The HyperBFT consensus algorithm pumps out a block every 0.2 seconds. What does that mean? Near instant trade confirmations. Hyperliquid can handle 200,000 transactions per second, and just recently, its daily trading volume topped 22 billion. But a lot of people don't know about it yet. It's insane, right? Next, Hyperliquid offers zero gas fee trading. I love that. Traditional DEX get slammed with spiking gas costs because they lean on public chains, but Hyperliquid's custom high-performance layer 1 slashes those fees to practically nothing. You have fees, of course, trading fees, but if you trade spot, for example, spot, trading here is basically free. Well, close enough. And here is another gem. Hyperliquid doesn't just do perpetuals. As I was saying, it's got spot trading too, but also derivatives, pre-launch markets, and even rolled out Hyper EVM. So this lets other dApps and even centralized exchanges tap into its liquidity through builder codes, supercharging Hyperliquid's ecosystem. It's really something solid, and this liquidity pooling trick is really why it's crushing it in the market right now. Let me finish my coffee, and I have to go to the shop to get some feeder for the alpacas. We'll go together and continue the discussion. Let's go. Ready to go. So, lastly, I've got to give props to Hyperliquid's Dutch auction listing system. It's a high to low bidding setup where everyone bids based on their budget, and I love that. What does that mean? It means that if you want your token listed, you can, but only with fairness and transparency. That's good. And that's, fairness and transparency, that's what Hyperliquid is all about. And they hold these public auctions every 31 hours. So projects have to earn their spots. No shortcuts, no corruption here. The high cost of the auction ticker keeps sketchy low-tier altcoins out and stops the Web3 world to mess with you with centralized exchanges, VCs pump and dumps. Plus, the gas fees from auctions go back to the HLP vault, attracting legit projects and keeping Hyperliquid's ecosystem thriving and healthy. Compare that to traditional central exchanges, where scandals are basically a weekly headline. Think Binance and Coinbase listing controversies, Bybit's hack drama, or the FTX collapse. There is a lot of change in the air. People are waking up to the chaos, shady management, weak risk controls, and zero clarity on assets. Trust in centralized platforms is tanking fast, and I think that's good. Okay, let me find a feeder and I'll get back to you. I think I found what I need. But Hyperliquid it's not perfect. There are some red flags and a few problems to be aware of too. If you remember those insane numbers I mentioned at the start of this video, whales aren't flocking to Hyperliquid just because it's cool. There is also a juicy glitch they are exploiting, or maybe a few. Turns out, Hyperliquid is basically a liquidation jackpot. It lets you withdraw unrealized profits and offer massive leverage. So whales, they just cash out early, essentially borrowing against future gains, and it's left Hyperliquid bleeding cash. This exposes some immature DeFi mechanics. Its liquidity pools are ripe for manipulation. And get this, on-chain expert ZachXPT says one of these 50x leverage whales might even be a cyber criminal gambling with stolen funds. So they hit Hyperliquid, scored big, and walked away even richer. On top of that, most projects, listed on Hyperliquid, there are meme coins. Meme coins can be a wild ride too, and not always in a good way. If you're just chasing flashy leverage headlines, it's easy to get blinded by the numbers and miss the risk lurking underneath. So, when you are tempted by sky-high leverage or hot tips, keep your head on straight. Do your research, manage your risk, and don't get swept up in FOMO. Let's give them some food. Hyperliquid has had some drama too. Operators have called out issues like nodes constantly shutting down, closed source code. I don't like that. I'm always for open source. No, making things tricky and centralized API risks, causing single-point failures. The teams pushed back with clarification, promising to open source node code once it's secure, but whether they will fully deliver on that transparency is still up in the air. And finally, as a fresh-faced DEX, Hyperliquid only has about 300 tradable tokens. Plus, with no real tutorials or hand-holding, newbies might feel lost at first. The speed and low fees, yes, they are killer. But if you are not comfy with on-chain trading with technology, it will take some getting used to. Unlike central exchanges, there is no customer support, hotline chat here. You're on your own, digging through the community for answers. That being said, if you'd be interested in some video tutorials, shoot me a comment. I use Hyperliquid on a daily basis. I could do some tutorials if that interests you. Won't take much of my time. So, all in all, Hyperliquid is a mixed bag. It's still early days. So you can test it out for yourself and see if it fits your trading style. After all, remember, the best platform is the one that works for you, right? Me, I'm a sucker for decentralized apps, so I'm naturally Team DEX. It's awesome to see platforms like Hyperliquid stepping up their games, with cutting-edge tech and innovative systems. Whether it's Hyperliquid making waves in finance or other standouts like Mega ETH and Monad, I'm stoked to see how they'll push crypto toward a fairer, more transparent future. I really can't wait to see what's next. If you've tried Hyperliquid, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your take, or are you curious about other DEX, dark horses like Mega ETH or Monad? If I see enough comments, I'll whip up another video breaking them down too. And yeah, if you like this one, smash that like button and share it with your crew. Hit subscribe, click the bell, you know the drill, or join my Telegram, links in the description. Bon appétit! And those ones are the reason why we need those feeders. Otherwise, they would just steal everything. Isn't that right? Alright, your turn now. Your turn.